This homework is going to deal with how you add charts and change charts in PowerPoint. So the first thing we need to do is we're going to go to just a regular slide. If you check the layout, this is just a title and content slide. Comes up fairly regularly. If you'll notice, there is a little tool on here that says Insert Chart. You can click that and it'll bring up the charts that are available. We're just going to start with the basic chart. Now as you notice, it brings up a chart and then you can add information. We've added some data into this chart. We did not add data to everything, so we have a row here that is not part of the data we're doing, this category 4. You can take this, and if you move it up, it deletes it from there, but it still shows up on here. The thing to do would be and you'd have to delete the row, so you're going to right click and delete the row. Now let me go back. You don't have to, you can move this. Notice how when I move this, only the things that appear in the field appear in my chart. So if I wanted to get rid of a group, now it's down to 3. I can expand this out, it will include the group. If I have, just because of the defaults, an extra category, I can click on that row, highlight the row, right click, and then delete, and it gets rid of that whole section. So now I only have the data I entered. In order to get out of this so you can work with the actual chart in PowerPoint, you're going to click the X to exit out. Now if you have to go back, you made a mistake, you do have under Chart Tools Design, Edit Data. You can edit data here, and it'll just let you go in there, it'll just give you a place to edit. And either, if you need to do something a little fancier, you can either click here to edit data in Excel, or you can click in here and edit data in Excel. And that's going to give you the opportunity to add formulas and different things that you might need. We're not going to be using Excel to edit data and charts, at least not this year, so you don't need to know too much about that, but it does exist. Now if you'll notice, we're out of there, but there are some tools here to the side. This is one way to get into your tools. It tells you the axis, and if you look, there's a side arrow, primary, horizontal, and vertical. If I unclick these, notice how different things just disappear. If I click the vertical, it puts the numbers on. If I click the horizontal, it puts the data across the bottom. If I click more options, it brings up a side table here, which gives me other things that I can do. I can edit the number in this side table. You also have a chance to mark labels and tell it where you want the labels. Gives you alignments if you wanted to add an effect, 3D, whatever effect you'd want to add. And you can go into fill. So you have a lot of tools that you have access to. If you go here, you notice there's data labels you can add, table labels, error bars, grid lines, legend. Now I want to point out what the legend is. If you notice, the legend over here tells you what each of the bars stands for. Please make sure you know what a legend is when you're working in tables and charts. Now there are different charts you can use, so if you go to change chart type, now that we have our chart chosen, we have layouts that we can choose. Layouts change the look. They're basically numbered, they go in order. It's easy to figure out which one you want, because if you look, layout 8 is the 8th one on there. So you can pick a layout. You may also pick a chart style. Different chart styles change your chart. So you have charts, you have chart layout or quick layout, and chart styles. You also have where you can go in, you can select data, and you can switch columns and rows. So if you click select data and you go switch columns and rows, if you look, notice how my percentages were here, my years were there. Click here, all of a sudden it's changed. If you want to add data labels, notice how there are data labels here. You can click this and you can go in here and tell it where you want the data labels. Now you notice I only have it appearing above 1 because that's all that was selected when I was doing add data labels. You'd have to have everything selected. Now I want to point out something to you. If you're in here, you have all those options also on the left side. Looking at this, we've got a basic chart here. But let's say we wanted it to be a different type of chart. We wanted a line chart. You click on what you want, click OK. So you can change the chart once you do it. You just need to be under Chart Tools, Design. Again, you have the option to change colors. Pretty self-explanatory. Format is where you get a little bit more choices. You have, starting over at the far left, where you can choose what you want to do. So we're going to go into legend since there's no legend. And now we have a legend. Notice how my legend format appears here. Now I can tell it to have a fill, and I can add a border to it. I can tell it to go to the top, the left, the right. To do that, I clicked over here where it says legend options. There are text options where I can change the color of the text or outline of the text. You can add effects to your text, and then you have text box options. If I go back to legend options, I also have effects under legend options. The effects under legend options, in this case, will affect the entire box. If I go into text options, it's just affecting the text. Not only can I do that, I can do that for anything. I can do it for the chart area, plot area. See the area that just got highlighted? That's the plot area. If I wanted just that to have a fill on the chart, I can do that. And you've used these tools before. Now let's say we want to change the color of one of them. I can go into Series Options, go back into my Fill tool, do a solid fill, and now I can change the color. I can also change the color if I just click on it, and I can change the color here as well. So you have the options. There's several places you can go to do this. Now we're going to stop here for now, because I will go over a few more details when we go over. The main things to remember for what you're going to have to start to do is when you're going into to add a chart, you want to make sure you click Insert Chart, choose your chart. If you decide you don't like the chart, you can always change the chart once you insert it. Click OK, and it'll put your chart in and give you the data that you can edit. You delete the categories you do not want. Or you delete if you have a column you do not want, you delete that. You can also add. If you add to it, you need to drag to include whatever you added into the boxes. Next thing is, when you're going to edit, you can click and get these tools and edit from chart elements here. You can go to Chart Tools, Design. That'll give you your quick layouts, your chart styles, changing your chart types. It'll also let you go into chart elements. You can show data table. You have all your tools here. If you click here, you get a little arrow. You can go into more options, and it'll give you your side box. From your side box, you also have other options. We can change this, go down to numbers. It's going to be the main one you're using. And if you have to get back into your data, you can go into Edit Data up here. From here, you can go into Series Options, everything else. So you have a lot of things you can do. We'll continue with some of the fine-tuning things later on. Have a good night.